after months of radio silence, and I mean like guys, we got nothing from Avatar Studios, I started to even wonder if anything is even still gonna come out because the silence was too much. The only thing we got was the logo for the upcoming Avatar Aang movie, and I was pretty disappointed when we got the announcement for Seven Havens because back then the only thing we got was just text and we didn't even get the official fonts for the film or anything. Like the only thing we had to take away from that announcement was the fact that Korra destroyed the world basically. But with Avatar The Last Airbender celebrating its 20th anniversary and Comic-Con that is going on right now, we finally have the official first look at the characters from this new show. And in this video, we're gonna have an in-depth look at the characters in this picture. So without wasting any more time, please hit the like and the subscribe button if you've not already. And now let's get into what we have for today's video. So the leaks, of course, were right at this point. Like, what's the point of even denying any leak that come out from Avatar Studio? Because these characters look exactly like what we saw when the leaks for this series came out, months last year, not even months ago, last year if I'm being precise. So Nickelodeon has released the first look at the upcoming animated series Avatar 7 Havens, which is the sequel series to the popular Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. And this artwork, by the way, was reviewed today at Comic-Con where Avatar is celebrating its 20th anniversary. And the new description we have to work with reads that Seven Havens follows two earthbending twins when one discovers she's the Avatar, that is the latest person who can wield all four elements, air, water, earth and fire. The new series is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra, but in a dangerous era. That title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Haunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse. Yeah, this is pretty similar to what we got when the first announcement was made, so nothing new there. And additionally, it looks like they've already concluded with how the story is gonna go. They said it would consist of 26 half-hour episodes over 2 seasons. That's 13 episodes per season. And when I saw this initially, I was like, okay, maybe this is just what you're working with. If the reception is great and all that, hopefully we'll get like more seasons, because I don't know how they're gonna tell a good story with just 2 seasons. I know the story of Avatar Aang ran for 3 seasons, but each season had like 20 episodes, so I don't know how they're gonna do that with just 13 episodes. And I don't know why everything has to be so like small and short these days, like 13 episodes for just 2 seasons. Meanwhile, we got like 3 seasons for Avatar Aang, 4 seasons for Avatar Korra. I expected at least something within that range. I don't know how they're gonna do with 2 seasons, but hopefully maybe if the show gets a good reception and high ratings and all that, they will consider and give us something more, because it takes long before they introduce another Avatar. And the long space that they do give in between each Avatar is kind of good, because it won't make sense if they just run for 2 seasons and then let's say after 2-3 years or so they now come out with the next Avatar. That space we usually get between Avatar Aang and Avatar Korra and now this one, that's a good time to allow a generation to grow up with a particular Avatar and stuff. So it kind of sucks that we're getting just 2 seasons now, but like I said, hopefully they change it, and if the show is well received, they will add more seasons to it and flesh out the story and just give us something more. And when you take a closer look at the first look image we have here, like I said, like it's the exact, nothing is even different from what we saw in the leaks. Like everything is so spot on. And here we can see the young Avatar, that's Avatar Pavi, with her half cat and half lemur looking pet tagging along behind her. And further behind, we can see her airbending friend walking beside her in a rocky desert land with a city in the far distance, and just mysterious lights to brighten the sky and stuff like that. And that friend from behind, his name is Jay, and he is her mentor. Jay is spelled J-A-E. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he is a mentor and he's an airbender. And there's this theory that I've been floating around that he's probably a descendant of Avatar Aang and Katara. What do you think? I think that would be really fun, because just to give us something familiar from the first show, because I don't think Korra is the type of Avatar that would have a child. Do you think she will have a child? I don't think she would. So you see the way for her show in The Legend of Korra, we had familiar faces like older Katara, Tenzin, and the rest of his children. So maybe this show, this is the familiar face we're gonna get, because I don't know, what do you think? It's gonna be fun to have him be like a descendant of Avatar Aang, just to see a new dynamic where maybe instead of having a situation like Tenzin where he felt the burden of, preserving the line of airbenders and stuff like that, maybe the case will be different now. Maybe we're in a generation where they don't really remember much of what happened to the air nomads, stuff like that. This is a really cool idea. Now that I'm saying it, I like the sound of that, and it's really, really, really cool if he turns out to be a descendant of Avatar Aang. So back to what we have to discuss now. Like we saw in the leak, she's disabled disabled. You know, you can see the stick on her leg. That doesn't stop her from being an avatar, because one thing that Avatar is good at is showing disabled people that can kick ass. And rather than have them as side characters like we always do in other Avatar shows, this time around the main avatar is the disabled person, so that's cool. And as for the animation style, I don't know, is it too early to conclude that this is what the final look is gonna look like, or is this just like an artwork or something like that? But this doesn't look too far-fetched from what, you know, Korra looks like and stuff. Although the hair color, Avatar is not so keen on, you know, having colored hair and stuff like that. Were they? Apart from Princess Yue, every other person had, you know, dark hair or gray hair and stuff like that. But this time around, we're seeing Avatar Pavi with, you know, a dark bluish kind of hair. That's new, so let's just see how this goes. And as for the crystals around, maybe she's an avatar that can bend crystals, because you know in season 2 of Avatar The Last Airbender, we saw the Dai Li bending crystals and all that, so it's part of what earthbenders can bend. So you know, in the show we've explored earth bending, you know, with actual earth, we've explored lava bending, we've explored metal bending, so maybe this time we'll get to see them, you know, touch more on crystals and stuff like that. And something that we didn't get in this first look image that I feel like it's something that is gonna be really big in this show, we did not get our first look at her twin, that's Nisha. I think, yeah, Avatar Pavi and Nisha, yeah. We did not get the first look at Nisha, and you know, there's this theory that has also been floating around that Nisha is, you know, gonna be the darkness to her light. You know, the way we almost had the dark avatar with Unalaq in season 2 of Avatar Korra. So for the fact that we're not seeing her in this first look image and she's not part of the gang, she's kind of like a mysterious image. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that character. And guys, it would be so cool if that theory turns out to be true, that you know, she's the darkness to her light, and you know, like maybe the avatar spirit is also split in her and something like that. It'll be really fun to see how all that plays out. And that's why I feel like 2 seasons is like, it's not enough to like flesh out this whole story, because from the little we know already, a lot can be told in this world. Maybe the first 2 seasons can focus on Avatar Pavi, and then the rest will, you know, focus on her twin sister Nisha, and maybe they'll conclude it with a big finale or just something to tell. So that 2 seasons, nah, it's not gonna work for me. So yeah, for now we don't have any information about the voice cast for this show. Maybe in the coming days in Comic-Con we're gonna have that review, hopefully. I doubt that, because we've not been getting anything so far, so I don't know how they're gonna like drop everything on us this week, but it would be great if we have it. So fingers crossed, hoping we get more content for this show. So what do you think of this first look image? I'm excited, because next year and moving forward, like, it's gonna be a huge era for Avatar Legends, because we're having this show coming out, we're having the Avatar Aang movie as well coming out next year, and Netflix is also working on season 2 and 3 of Avatar The Last Airbender. So we're gonna have a lot of Avatar content coming out in the coming year. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we're gonna cover everything as they drop. So thanks for watching this video. Once again, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, hopefully this week. Bye guys.